So why do I say that these workshops are more than just a workshop? Well, they're certainly different. And in many ways, I feel like this little goat trying to put my head through a fence to be able to speak to people. Why do I say this? Well, because most of what I talk about is very different from what other people talk about. I seem to speak a bit of an ancient language when I'm teaching. And yet, when they find that ancient something inside themselves, they start to think a little differently, and something opens up. Something starts to heal. Stimulating conversation, insightful conversation. It's always inspirational. We're facing changes. We're facing a lot within this current culture that is really challenging our perception of what the ancient life is all about. Introducing Romany Gypsy games that I was introduced to as a child helps to increase our senses, make us aware of what is going on around us and to, well, detect something that is specifically going on around us if we can possibly manage it. In my workshops, there are always the fun bits. We have a lot of laughs, as well as the serious bits. But also, unfortunately, the cheek and lip bits. I like to inspire good conversation. And when we get into role play, that's one of the best things of all, because it can really teach us what we have within us and what we can use to help ourselves along through life. We simply don't get enough instruction on how to manage people and how to manage ourselves, especially when we find ourselves faced with difficult challenges in relationships. So whether it's in a family setting or a work setting or any setting at all, boundaries are important. Self-belief is especially important. I don't really like to come across as the classic spiritual teacher, and nor do I like to come across as the classic shaman, because I'm neither of those things. Really, when all's said and done, I would traditionally be one of the people. I would be able to give them some wise counsel here and there, to advise them, especially if they're having trouble with their relationships. It's more in the social makeup that I have my role, more in the realm of relationships and personal well-being. And rather naughtily, I love to capture my students doing odd things and freezing the frame. Well, when all's said and done, if we can't have a bit of fun, then what's it all about? And just to add a bit of balance, here's me on a workshop, but looking like I'm cheering for my favourite team in a bar. Goodness knows why I was pulling that face. Anyway, at the end of the day, togetherness, happiness, and meaningfulness are what it's really all about. 1, 2, 3. So, what do you think of it so far?
Oh, very good. Like-minded, everybody different, but they're open. And there's no comeback if you say the wrong thing. That's really healthy to be around.
Yeah.
So, yes,
no, I agree.
Very good.
Great.
I'm loving it. Really good, really enjoying it.
This is just, I am right where I should be.
Oh, that's really nice.
Yeah, and I'm very grateful you coming up here all
thank
this
you.
way.
Energy! And one more, really shout it. 1, 2, 3.
Energy!
3.
Energy!
Thank you.
1, 2, 3.
Energy! Wonderful, thank you. Lovely group. Because of my background, because of my Romany Gypsy background, I have quite a rapport with rhythm and music and theatre and dance. And it's always a joy to me to see my students dancing and enjoying themselves in the middle of what we're discovering. It really is important that we enjoy ourselves creatively in whatever way we feel we need to. Getting in touch with that sense of rhythm, that sense of something that seems to join with us when we're expressing ourselves creatively, that's really what matters. Romany Gypsies were always extremely creative, always ready to dance, always ready to have fun, but equally always ready to see the meaning, the ultimate meaning of life.
Tobacco in there as well.
Easy to do, like pour the vodka over the herbs. Yes. Exactly. Well, I did
I've done most of the day. Everybody's outside chatting. We've talked about an awful lot of things. We've covered a lot of themes. We've covered narcissism, which has been an interesting thing to talk about. And this evening we're having an ancestral communication session, which should be interesting to say the least. I don't know if you can hear them laughing, but they're all pretty much enjoying themselves, which is good. But I must say that there has been a lot more constructive conversation between people, with myself included, talking about things that matter. And yeah, that's been quite a good thing. So I'm hoping that will continue tomorrow. It's so good, it's so refreshing when people can come together and start talking about all these things. You know, talking about the natural world, the other world, how they all tick, talking about ghosts, talking about ancestors, talking about shadows, talking about all the things that we Romanis did. You need to come to a workshop another time and see what it's all about. So, yeah, until next time. We have to open the door to a real animistic way of thinking and communicating now. We really need to be in touch with our animal selves, in the sense that we're learning to understand how we function when we communicate, just as the natural world does, and just as we all used to do in earlier times. We really have to simplify everything, see ourselves as we are, and get away from the deep influence of the New Age and core shamanic ways. All these modern ways of thinking don't help us, because it isn't how our ancestors used to do it. Our souls communicate. The soul flows like water, always moving, always changing, always flowing. And applying these ancient primary organic principles, this way of relating, the way of relating to each other and to the natural world, well, it opens up doors that bring us closer to the family we will once have known many thousands of years ago, when ancestors didn't perhaps bargain for a world their descendants would drop into. So here we are in these workshops, filling and healing the gaps between ourselves and our ancestors, and it works. When I can offer help and hope through my beloved Romany Gypsy culture, well, I'm happy to do that. Join me. These workshops are rare, insightful, supportive, authentic, and fun. Yeah? 1, 2, 3. I didn't hear that. 1, 2, 3. And 3 times for luck. 1, 2, 3. Please come and join me. I'll welcome you.